Is it really possible to reverse heart disease? Heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, but research shows that certain lifestyle changes can actually help to slow, stop, or even potentially reverse its progression. Today, we're going to talk about some of the science behind reversing heart disease and the steps that you can take to protect your heart health. When most people think of heart disease, they assume it's something that can only be managed, not reversed, and in fact, their doctor may be telling them that. But studies in recent years have shown that by changing your diet, improving fitness, managing stress, and addressing inflammation, you may be able to reverse some of the damage done to your cardiovascular system, not just prevent it getting worse. This isn't a quick fix, but it is possible. I'm Dr. Suresh, and today I'm going to explain how heart disease develops, the latest research on reversing it, and practical science-backed strategies to improve your heart health. Let's dive into what you can do to take control of your heart. So heart disease, often referred to as coronary artery disease, develops when a plaque or a combination of cholesterol, fat, calcium, and other substances builds up in the arteries. This plaque hardens over time in a process we call atherosclerosis, which narrows the arteries, reducing the blood flow and increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. How does atherosclerosis actually start and progress though? Atherosclerosis starts with damage to the arterial walls, often due to things like high blood pressure, smoking, high blood sugar, or inflammation. This damage allows LDL cholesterol to infiltrate the arterial walls, where it becomes oxidized and triggers inflammation. Over time, this builds up as plaque, which can restrict or even block blood flow. Reversing this heart disease means more than just stopping plaque buildup though. It involves actually actively reducing the plaque size and improving arterial health. While some aspects of atherosclerosis may be irreversible, many studies are showing now that lifestyle changes can significantly reduce plaque volume and stabilize existing plaques as well, even improving arterial function and vastly reducing your risk of heart attacks. The key is actually addressing the root causes: inflammation, small dense LDL, insulin resistance, smoking, type 2 diabetes, microplastics, and other toxins. First, let's talk about diet and heart disease. Diet, of course, plays a massive role. Here's some of the most impactful changes that you can make to reduce your risk of heart disease and even potentially reverse it. Not terribly surprising here, but the first thing is getting rid of seed oils. Seed oils like soybean, sunflower, and canola oil are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can promote chronic inflammation, one of the root causes of atherosclerosis. Opting for other more stable fats like butter, coconut oil, or animal fats, which are anti-inflammatory and provide the heart with essential nutrients, is definitely going to be beneficial. Next up is sugar. A high carbohydrate diet, particularly from refined sugars and grains, contributes to high insulin levels, which can damage arteries over time. This has been particularly evidenced by studies like the Sydney Diet Heart Trial and the Minnesota Coronary Trial, which took out animal fats and replaced them with things like seed oils and margarines. And they showed whilst LDL went down, the risk of cardiovascular disease and death actually went up, which basically tells us LDL A is not the cause of heart disease, and B, seed oils are probably not going to reduce your risk of heart disease, even though they're still sold like that. Next up on the chopping block is carbohydrates. High carbohydrate diets, particularly from refined sugars and grains, contributes to insulin resistance levels over time, which can cause atherosclerosis. Low carbohydrate and ketogenic diets have repeatedly been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, both of which supports your heart health. Focusing on nutrient-dense anti-inflammatory foods, this can also be a big bonus. Foods which are rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, such as fatty fish, eggs, maybe vegetables if you really want to eat them, and berries if you're into fruit. These foods can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, protecting your arterial health. Particularly omega-3 fatty acids, which we often find in fish, seafood, and actually meat as well. Changing your diet can reduce the inflammation and help to stabilize plaque, which are critical steps towards reversing heart disease. Exercise is also one of the most powerful tools for heart health, helping to improve circulation, reduce your blood pressure, and supporting healthy cholesterol levels, When I say cholesterol levels, I mean small dense LDL, not LDL. Regular aerobic exercise like walking, swimming, or cycling strengthens the heart muscle, improving circulation and helps the body to use oxygen more efficiently. Studies have shown that 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week can significantly reduce heart disease risk and even help to reverse arterial stiffness. Resistance training is really important for vascular health. It's not just about building muscle, and it's definitely not just for vanity. It helps to lower your blood pressure, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduces visceral fat, all factors that support heart health. Adding resistance exercises a couple of times a week can further support your cardiovascular system. My recommendation would be 4 or 5 times a week. The important thing here, though, is consistency. Regular exercise over months and years is what truly makes an impact on reversing heart disease. Even moderate exercise can produce powerful effects, particularly when combined with dietary changes. Incorporating both aerobic and strength training can help to improve arterial flexibility, lower your blood pressure, and support a healthier heart. Next up is stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which contributes to inflammation, high blood pressure, and even elevated cholesterol levels. Addressing stress is essential in reversing heart disease. Practicing stress management techniques like yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, meditation, deep breathing, mindfulness. These reduce cortisol levels, supporting your heart health. Studies have shown that regular stress reduction practices can lower blood pressure and improve heart rate variability, both of which we know are linked to better heart health. Sleep is the one thing that we really cannot overlook. Poor sleep increases inflammation and raises your cortisol levels. So getting at least 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night is critical, though my recommendation would be 9. Adequate sleep helps the body to heal and repair, controls your blood pressure, and supports overall cardiovascular health. It also helps to reduce stress, so sleep and stress go hand in hand, and improving this will definitely have a role in reversing heart disease. Now I want to talk a little bit about nutrients and supplements for heart health. Certain vitamins and minerals could play a significant role in reducing inflammation, supporting your vascular health, and helping to reverse arterial damage. I've already mentioned omega-3 fatty acids. So omega-3s from sources like fatty fish or fish oil supplements, though I really wouldn't recommend those, reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and support overall health. Studies show they can help to stabilize plaques, making them less likely to rupture and cause blockages. Now, everybody talks about omega-3s in fish and seafood, but where do we actually get most of our omega-3s from? Meat. Next up is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 helps to get calcium into the bones rather than the arteries. This reduces the calcification in the arteries, and it helps to keep your arteries more flexible and less prone to plaque buildup. Vitamin K2 doesn't reduce the calcification of soft plaque, though. It's a very important distinction. What's really interesting, though, is K2 also needs boron to work. Boron is something I definitely recommend. There's a link in the episode description of the one that I personally buy. Boron is something that can very much lack on a strict carnivore diet, so I do recommend people supplement it. Magnesium is really important as well, also linked with boron. Magnesium is essential for blood pressure regulation and heart muscle function. A deficiency in magnesium is linked to an increased risk of heart disease. Now, if you're really eating vegetables, fine, it's rich in magnesium. Otherwise, I wouldn't really recommend that. Consider taking a supplement if you think your intake might be low. These nutrients support overall heart health and can aid in reversing the damage caused by years of poor diet or lifestyle habits. So making these lifestyle changes is essential to reversing heart disease. But how do you know if these changes are actually really working? Well, working with a doctor who understands these things is, I think, paramount. I think getting testing done, which can show you insights into the progression or hopefully reversal of heart disease, is super important. These regular checkups can help to keep track of your heart's condition, measuring the effectiveness of what you're doing. Let's go over now some of the key diagnostic tools that are commonly used to monitor your cardiovascular health. The first useful tool is the coronary artery calcium score, otherwise commonly referred to as a CAC score. This non-invasive test uses a CT scan to measure the amount of calcium in the walls of the coronary arteries. Calcium is often a marker of plaque buildup, and a higher CAC score suggests a greater risk of cardiac disease. By monitoring your CAC score over time, you and your doctor can assess whether your lifestyle changes are helping to slow or hopefully reverse plaque buildup. Remember, a 0 score doesn't necessarily mean there's no risk, but it's a very low risk. A high score, though, is a strong indication to take action. Just a quick note on this, though. Calcium scores naturally will go up over time, usually by around 25 to 50% per year. If yours is going up less than that, you may actually be improving even though your CAC score is getting worse. If you've had a heart attack or you have a very high level of calcium score, it's probably not that useful to get a follow-up test. This is where something like a carotid artery Doppler scan could be more useful. This is commonly referred to as a CIMT, or carotid intimal media thickness score. This measures the thickness of the carotid arterial walls. The carotid is your neck arteries. This ultrasound helps to test and evaluate the health of these arteries and detect the early signs of atherosclerosis. A thicker arterial wall suggests a higher risk of cardiovascular issues. What's happening here in your neck is basically likely what's happening in your arteries around your heart. The ultrasound can show you not just the extent of the plaque, but what the plaque is like as well, whether it's soft plaque, hard plaque, or mixed. It's a very, very useful test to get, and it's non-invasive, and there's no radiation. Next up is a CT angiogram. This is much more detailed than the other tests that we've spoke about, and this can help to detect blockages or narrowings. Unlike the CAC score, the calcium score, which only measures calcium buildup, a CT angiogram can reveal soft plaques, which are often unstable and pose a higher risk of rupture. This test gives a clear picture of both calcified and non-calcified plaques, making it valuable for a more comprehensive look at your arterial health. By monitoring your arteries with a CT angio, you can get a much more precise understanding of how lifestyle changes are impacting your heart. This, however, does carry a slight increase in radiation, so we don't want to do them too regularly, and it also involves contrast into your veins, which some people are not happy with. These tests are incredibly useful to get as a baseline, and then, of course, over time, periodically under your doctor's guidance. This is a really powerful way to see if what you're doing is actually working. Improvements, or at very least stabilization in these areas, can show you that what you're doing is working and making a difference. However, of course, it's always a reminder to stay vigilant otherwise and how otherwise to manage your cardiovascular health. It's empowering to know that you can make these differences if you're tracking the data. So I think these are really useful for patients to get. I recommend them to all of my patients. So can you really reverse heart disease? Well, actually, yes. The answer is yes, you can. It can be slowed, managed, and in many cases, actually partially reversed with the right lifestyle changes, not actually by taking a statin. By adopting a heart-healthy diet, staying physically active, managing stress, and focusing on key nutrients that I've mentioned, you can support your cardiovascular system and potentially reduce plaque buildup. Remember, reversing heart disease isn't an overnight fix. It requires commitment, dedication, consistency, and a focus on long-term health. If you're ready to take charge of your heart health, visit me over at themeatmedic.com for more tips and resources and to join our amazing community. Your heart and your future are worth it.